Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. We have 3 new Evocati patch notes to run through, so let's get to it. As always, a big thank you to my patrons and channel members, in particular to my latest patron, Byron. Thank you so much for the support, my friend. It is truly appreciated. So since I last covered Alpha 3.24's Evocati patch, there has been another 3 patches released to the PTU. Now I have jumped on for a spell yesterday and a little bit today as well, but it is still suffering from some pretty game-breaking bugs, especially in regards to the hangars, both personal and instanced. Now, the bugs that are stopping me from testing are acknowledged in the known issues list, so there is no concern about them. They will get fixed, but of course it is just a when issue. Now, these hangars are clearly very complex and requiring a lot of focus before they are ready to release to the patch for the wider audience, so still a lot of work to be done before it's ready for Wave 1, but as usual there is no way of knowing how long that will take, as it could be an issue for some time, for a few weeks, but it could just be the next patch that they all get fixed and it's working fine again. So hopefully early next week a new build will come in and these bugs will be gone, and we can get to testing the features more thoroughly. Now, I did manage to take off from the hangar this time without the invisible door trapping me in, but unfortunately there was an issue with me falling through the floor of the instanced hangars at Port Tressler when I was trying to exit my ship. So yeah, still game-breaking bugs to resolve with the hangars at this time, but hopefully it won't take them too long now. Now, before we get to the patch notes, I just want to further expand on the updates to ships in armistice zones and towing, as a developer, Luke Presley, has addressed these changes and shed a little bit more light into what they mean. Now, firstly, it was acknowledged that the inability to see if a ship is unowned or not via the scanner of your ship, showing that it is owned by game rules, is in fact a bug and will be looked into. Now, this is certainly of great importance for myself and many others, as we need to know whether a ship is fair salvage or not, so hopefully for 3.24 they can get that bug fixed. Now, the update to 3.24 being it is no longer illegal to damage, destroy, tow, scrape or structurally salvage an unowned vehicle means that if you find an abandoned ship, if the previous owner of that vehicle has claimed that ship on insurance, then they no longer own it. So it is fair to do all of the above with no repercussions, and this includes doing the above while in a green zone as well, so an armistice zone. Now, as it currently stands, planet-side armistice zones still artificially restrict the player from using weapons or tools. However, space stations with green zones do not, although it appears in 3.24's latest patch, you are again artificially restricted to use weapons around space stations, which I believe will likely be more of a bug rather than an intention. So for Alpha 3.24, I really hope, and I ask CIG, that they can change up the artificial restrictions of armistice zones planet-side specifically by allowing players to use just tractor beams so that we can start removing unowned vehicles that are cluttering up places like the commons at New Babbage, which is the reason why they're bringing these changes in. Now, if they do this, don't worry, by simply leaving your shields up, players won't be able to use tractor beams against you, as your shields stop tractor beams from working. So, Cloud Imperium, if you are watching, please make that possible. We will help the server by clearing away these unowned ships that have been dumped while making money salvaging them. Anyway, for towing specifically, it says that it is no longer illegal to tow ships outside of green zones, but also, thankfully, you won't instantly get a crime stat the minute you try to tow an owned ship. Instead, you will receive a warning, and they said that they can increase the grace period before you get a crime stat if needed. Now, towing of an owned ship inside a greenstone is apparently still illegal, but again, the warning will be issued, giving you time to turn off your tractor beam if you find out it's owned. Although, of course, fixing the ability to scan a ship and see if it's owned or unowned would make that clearer in the first place. Now, he goes on to say that these quick fixes are done to try and ease the issue of abandoned ships clogging up locations, but other methods are also being discussed. And they would like to make it so that the minute a ship goes from being owned to unowned, so the moment someone claims it on insurance, that the previous ship is powered down and allows players to enter. Now, firstly, the issue of clearing ships at planet-side armistice zones like New Babbage will require Cloud Imperium to change the artificial restrictions to allow players to use tractor beams. This will allow players with ships like the SRV to go in and move these vehicles out of the way to a suitable location to then allow salvagers to come in and get rid of them off the server. So if possible, removing the restriction on tractor beams only, as this will help that issue out big time. Of course, we still have the issue of unowned ships having their shields up and the inability to get inside the ship in a green zone to turn them off, so powering down the ship once it gets claimed would definitely help in the short term until other systems have expanded enough. So some great additions coming in there. Hopefully that's put a bit more clarity on what it all means, but more will be required to make it all possible, and hopefully it won't be too out of reach for Alpha 3.24. So a big thank you to Luke Presley for speaking out about this and addressing the issue, and hopefully you can hear my words on just changing up the restrictions a little bit to allow tractor beams to work in armistice zones. Anyway, let's get to the patch notes, which I have combined all three into one. Again, Alpha 3.24 is still with the Evocati. Now for features and gameplay, they have made further aerodynamic updates to enable ships to yaw more in atmosphere, being the Gladiator, the Hawk, the Hornet F7C and the Origin 300i. Plus there has been many more ongoing atmospheric flight updates to nearly every ship in the game, and they made further master mode atmospheric flight tunings as well. And that was pretty much every patch. So every single patch we've had, these 3 patches, there were more tweaks, tunings and balance passes for pretty much every ship, further getting the flight feeling right. They have also performed an ASOP and Elevator UI polish pass, adjusting the font size and style for personalized text fields to adjust how that text displays on the UI, and I will say, compared to where it was when it first came out, it does look a lot neater. Also, they have updated cargo loading time to be based on box size instead of per SEU, which makes a lot more sense. Plus, they have updated the description text for intro cargo hauling missions to specify that players will need a ship that can hold at least 6 SEU of cargo. Now this to me is quite confusing, as I don't think it means you won't be able to complete the job by moving boxes in multiple trips, as it was stated in earlier hauling missions that for these entry missions there will be no box bigger than 4 SEU. But I'm not sure if this is the case, as I haven't been able to test it, so I don't know if changing that description text would make it misleading, as you could still complete the mission, you'll just have to do it in multiple trips. Now, there were also 26 bug fixes over the course of the 3 patches, but as mentioned, many known issues, especially in regards to hangars. But there you go, that was the latest patches for Alpha 3.24. Still lots to do, but as I say, they're chipping away at it, and hopefully with these new changes coming to towing, we will actually be able to clean up locations like New Babbage, making it better for everyone. But with that said, I hope you all have a great weekend, and let us hope to see a patch go to Wave 1 by next week. As I say, these issues that are blocking the game from releasing further, or game-breaking issues, there is no way of knowing how long they will take, and they could literally be one patch, they're all fixed, and let's get going. We will see. Anyway, if you do enjoy my videos, please do consider subscribing and helping the channel to grow. Also, come and hang out over at twitch.tv/SuperMacBrother. You are all more than welcome over there, whether you are new or old to the game, and it is a great place to ask any of your questions, as I am present and I will try to answer them there and then. Also, hit the thumbs up if you don't mind, it does the channel a big favour, and tick that notification bell if you would like to be notified when my videos go live. Again, a huge thank you to all of my patrons and channel members. Cannot do it without you guys, so thank you for the support, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.